Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of the Shadow Guardians. I will be your host today for today's session, Dragon, and welcome to another portion of the Dreamforge TTRPG experience. So, as said before, this will be Shadow Guardians next session, or I don't actually know the episode we're on right now, I'd have to check, but, yes. I'll go ahead and get started in a moment. I believe that there's not too many updates in terms of major things. However, I will give a couple specific updates for Shadow Guardians. Some of them already are known. But the Shadow Guardians team has a temporary loss in certain players for moment due to scheduling. But for the most part, the 3 players that we have present will be the main 3 players finishing out this arc, with Atlas coming in and out as they're available to, and then when they are in their main campaign, they will be joining fully. So there is that. Also, I did forget to mention this, but Titus unfortunately will not be back in time for most of the rest of this arc, and I have been told to basically play through Titus's arc. I've been given a couple pointers and things like that, but for the most part, just play through as I was going to play and such. So Titus will be back for future missions, and probably will be back for this session in terms of me playing through as them. I will do my best. I am not going to say I will be as good of a Titus as the original, but I'll do the best I can. So there's that. But yes, outside of that, we're chugging along and we're about to get started. So, without further ado, let us get into the recap of Shadow Guardian's last little, or I guess long, quest here. In the previous few parts, or several parts, the party, the Shadow Guardians Guild Officer Party, had managed to, or had begun, and I guess now completed, the Reclaiming Icon operation. Overall, this operation's main details, which part of it will be discussed as well today in the big meeting that they have, but overall, the Shadow Guardians' main objective, along with the rest of the Lapsus Sphere initiatives' main objectives, were to reclaim the Isle of Icon, as the name suggested, and to secure Tahari Hakma, a very well-known and very renowned Memorem General, or I guess Commander is probably closer to what it was, for the Memorem military. One for the morale boost, but also for the potential information that was believed that he could offer in regards to the Retribution's current movements and objectives. Also, I'm going to cut that music down slightly. I think it was just a little bit overpowering. But besides that as well, the party was also trying, or outside of that, I should say, Apani, along with Lyshishka and some of the other board members of the Lapsus Sphere Initiative, had sprung their, I wouldn't really call it a trap, more like their offer. Yeah, that's a better word. Their offer to the Retribution, along with some very specific and, we'll say, incriminating information around that would be about Hawari as well as some of the others in the leadership of the Retribution, and how they had been, or at least how Hawari had dealt with what's his name? Darren Preach in the past. One of the people that is often attributed to have been the main cause of Memorem's burning towards the end of the Rising War and such, and kind of going into the new after-war era. So, definitely not earning Hawari some favor with his own people. While some people did, some Retribution members did seem to either not care or not believe this, there did seem to be some breaking and folding of certain members during this battle, which has led to a lot of Retribution members surrendering and being captured, or just basically fleeing the battlefield, as it were. Not really known at the moment, but as the Sphere Initiative is kind of like securing the island at the moment, so they weren't really giving chase. But that being said, that seemed to be a positive, or it seemed to work in a positive direction for the party, as, I will say, so good on you, Apani, for your offer here and how well it's going. We'll have to see if it remains a good idea in the future, and we'll see how well it deals with some future actions by the Retribution. As it was a very tight kind of agreement, we'll say, a very close agreement between the nations involved in the Lapsus Initiative, as some consortium, and even some in like the Noblesse area, were apprehensive, to say the least, about allowing the Retribution to not exactly get away scot-free, but more skirt a lot of the more zealous, we'll say, reactions and punishments that could come with the actions against the different nations they had attacked in the conflict. So, definitely some vibes of either animosity or disgruntledness that feels like the Retribution is getting off easier than they should. But, we'll see if that is something that sticks later. But regardless, outside of that, the battle would continue with Atlas joining the fray to assist the party, having helped take over one of the areas after they snuck into the main encampment, or not main encampment, one of the side encampment areas, and kind of found their way along along a mountain path to where Tahari was stationed, or where Tahari was kept. Once they found that area, they attacked it from the outside and managed to break through the main entryway and gate into the underground area of the prison. There, they would get out of their mechs in some cases, and others, they would burrow their way through parts of the walls to get to Tahari, eventually arriving at a kind of main area where most of the prisoners with Tahari had been kept, along with Tahari himself. There, they would meet, I believe his name was Hamid, a former, I guess you would say, Memorem captain, now turned Retribution captain, that would chastise some of the party, as well as kind of decry that the Lapsus Initiative was simply fools to, well, not just fools, but he would call them fools for aligning themselves with the Consortium, but also chastise them for daring to step upon their lands and encroach upon them again. Despite, we'll say, actions having led the party and others here that the Retribution had definitely done. But, that being said, eventually... Oh, I forgot! There was a little funny thing that happened. During the ensuing fight, somebody happened to hit Crow really, really badly. And left him... I think if I remember correctly, he got effectively kicked or punched through the doors of the mess hall area they were in. And as that happened, with two of the members kind of running up effectively to kind of capture Crow, as it seems that Hawari mentioned having an interest in Crow, and I believe Apani were the two at the time. Well, Crow seemingly had an episode. Paracausal episode, as it were. Crow would go into his quasi-Chaos Form 1 and proceed to start annihilating some of the people that were fighting the party. Luckily, Crow, his aggression was seemingly focused primarily at the Retribution members. As he proceeded to show some attacks Crow has never shown before, at least to the party, as he began to conjure these beads of dense gravity and basically blast them through people's skulls, blowing their heads completely off, and impacting them into the ground. It seems that Crow's natural ability of gravity mixed with chaos is quite dangerous, as these little beads were messing up the area quite a bit. Luckily, Latricia managed to get a hold of Crow and give him a big hug and kind of console him to calm him down. And towards the kind of midway into the fight, Crow managed to snap himself back and get back in the fight a little bit more conscious and cognizant of what he was doing. However, with not having the ability to really, I guess, reflect on what just happened as things were moving along, the party had to quickly rescue Tahari, move him to a new area, get him onto the ship, and then eventually have him get sent off. And while originally the plan was for them to then, or either see Tahari off back to the main ship in the bay that they had and get him back out of that area, out of the combat zone, meanwhile another group of them would go onto the control center, the guild had luckily with the Consortium forces and other Memorem forces, managed to completely decimate the remaining enemy, or at least force them to surrender, mostly thanks to Apani's and Lyshishka's actions, and had kind of secured the area and effectively, what it seemed, had ended the operation. However, there was one more surprise in store for the party. It would not be the Chain Jin unit or the Crimson Lotus as they had originally thought, but instead a new model machine, one they had never seen before, and one which would seemingly draw out something yet unknown in their Vanguard units, the Slayer mode. This machine, they know now as the classification of MA, or Monster Armor, are specific or special types of machines that are, well, they don't exactly know all the characteristics about yet, though this one seemed to resemble some type of crab-like creature without the legs and just the large arms, as it floated across the sky very quickly, might I add, and proceeded to get into combat with the party. Though, while imposing, it seemed as it seemingly tore through several squadrons to get to the party. Once it actually got to the party, it would seem that it was a mild paper tiger, as while it was doing some damage to people's machines and actually putting up a fight initially, as soon as something activated in Imiko's machine, the Quan unit, something known as Slayer mode, it proceeded to, well, hop onto the unit and start tearing away with it like a hungry beast on top of a fresh morsel. So it didn't do too well. On top of that, it seemed that the pilot, known now, or I guess it was known at the time as Isaiah Torrington, the, I guess, current and I think only, I might be wrong about that, but I believe the current and only head of the Torrington family, and their estate, had kind of proceeded to go a bit, it's unclear. Insane is probably the correct term, but it seemed as though something else was acting through Isaiah at a certain portion of that fight. It's almost speaking through him as well, as it proceeded to kind of speak not necessarily about the party, but the machines themselves, and almost acted in a fearful way towards Imiko's machine and towards the nameless Glint unit that Apani and Latricia had piloted. All of this, of course, ended in a crescendo, as I recall. Someone might have to recall who got the final attack, but if I recall correctly, the Raven unit came out of nowhere and seemingly paralyzed the unit, leaving it open for a big attack by one of the two. Was it Nameless or was it Quan that got the final hit? I think it was Nameless. I might be wrong about that.
Yeah, I think Nameless got the last hit in.
Okay. As I recall, it was a hit that, oh my god, it might have been Quan, I don't know. Either way, after the final hit was dealt, the party was left to try to kind of figure out what to do, as Isaiah and the other pilot were seemingly torn out of the unit, I believe either by Quan or were ejected out by the attack. This, well, led to one of their deaths, not the parties, but the other pilot in there with Isaiah, and Isaiah, unconscious and seemingly in a state of not, we'll say, inoperable inconsolability. He did not seem all the way present and cognizant of what was happening or where he was or even how to speak. So that might be something that the party needs to deal with soon. And it's not exactly known why, at least it wasn't said why, but the party actually can guess why, because they've been told what happens if you rip someone out of an NLD-based thing without them being, well, specifically, if you rip them out of something that might have the focus system in it, it can have some negative results on the pilot's mentality or psyche, and possibly even their physicality. So we'll see how damaged his brain is after this, but that's something in the later part of this session. Besides that, Imiko kind of got towards the end in a little bit of a heated argument with Apani and Latricia, as Crow seemingly passed out after Slayer mode deactivated along with their BOPS mode that they were aware of slightly but didn't know what it did. And Imiko was fervently trying to figure out who was in the Raven unit that flew away, while Apani was trying to ascertain the full situation and get Crow help as well as some other things figured out. This culminated in not too much, though Apani did get a little annoyed with this whole situation after everything had happened. Little is probably an understatement, very annoyed, but kind of just let things go after Latricia began talking with them on their way back. Funnily enough, this is actually, and I was going to say this is actually kind of the reason why Kaya had chose Latricia and Apani as the leadership positions over certain other members in the party, due to their, we'll say, level-headed behavior in dire situations. Now the second time Apani has proven themselves, we'll say. But,
You're rubbing it in.
I am rubbing it in, yes. But
You're being an instigator.
I am.
You know, wasn't like, trying to like her having a freak out. She could have like gone and get that damn mech.
It is also notable that that Imiko might have slightly been, we'll say, agitated, not just due to Crow's situation and the whole other unit showing up thing, but due to the actual repercussions of using BOPS. But that is fine. Or at least we'll find out more later. That being said, as I pull up my... One sec, do I actually have that? That's not what I was looking for. Yeah, I just want to make sure I actually had that pulled up. That being said, the party has returned to the ship. There is a bit of accelerating time that will happen during portions of the session, but that is okay. So, this is around a few hours after the operation has ended, or at least the main battle portion of the operation has ended. So, you're all at this point kind of resting and have been kind of taking a moment to breathe. There's kind of different operations happening to make sure everything is secure on the island. Your party has effectively been told you don't need to do that. You're on standby in case something else happens, but they've kind of told you that you guys are free to effectively get your full rest in, because, yeah, actually, we're not even going to make it 4 hours. We're going to say it's probably a few more than that, so you all can have long rested. Not because you're going to get into a fight, just so you could all get a nice breather. During that time, Kaya would have had Latricia, Apani, Imiko, and Crow all in the medical area, with Gwendolyn having been told to, along with Kaya actually specifically, having been told to look them over and basically make sure that all of them seem to have all their motor functions intact and none of them seem to be dulling in that way. I will tell you right now, you don't even need to make a check. You would not find anything too particularly wrong. Imiko's mild, I guess, aggression aside, would have subsided after an hour or so, and Crow would have woken up probably 2 hours later.
Oh, it's just her. Don't worry.
Yeah, some of that just seems to be Imiko's normal attitude, but there does seem to be a trickle of something. While that was happening, Balin actually was directed along with Brish to take a look at the 2 Vanguard units and make sure that everything looks fine with them. And we're about to, I'll tell you what they're gonna find in a bit. But in general, you guys would have been let out after about 3 hours, minus Crow, who would have been told he needs to basically stay in the medical area just for the night so they can survey him a bit. They want to be sure that nothing... Kaya would say she wants to be sure that the Slayer system didn't have any drastic effects than what would normally happen. And she will say, as she did last session, she will explain everything shortly to all the pilots of the Vanguards. In fact, actually, she's not even... You know what? She's not even going to wait. Before you guys kind of do your rest, and as Crow is kind of resting, like probably propped up a little bit in the medical area, she would pull in you all to have a conversation about this. So it'll be Gwendolyn who's in the room, probably just be Gwendolyn who's looking over them. Maybe a lower pop in every now and again to like check on Crow as well, since she did the first preliminary medical treatment. Just to like give you like any pointers, Gwen, on like terms of like how his demeanor and such is. Latricia, Imiko, Apani, you're also there, and Kaya will basically pull you guys, not really to the side, but over to sit down, as she will begin speaking, I guess, to you all directly, as she says, "Alright, I believe I can... she says, I believe that all of your conditions are stable enough that I can begin speaking to you now." And she will... Yes. She'll say, "So, I'm sure you all have some questions about things that happened in the last battle. For the moment, I should tell you, I can answer some things, but others are still unknowns even for myself."
Kind of like what happened with Quan. Like, what's up? What's with its deal with like turning into a weird ass like fox like hybrid? Huh? It was
That-
literally.
Unfortunately, I don't have the full details of as well. But I can... She kind of thinks. I gotta remember Kai's voice. However, I should be able to at least give you some clarity about what might have activated that mode and what it's connected to. Same with your unit. And she looks over at you, Apani, and Latricia, who are probably sitting down.
Apani just kind of blank stares and a bit of an agitated, but also just exhausted facial expression.
She kind of says, "I understand your agitation, and this was not necessarily something I wished to keep from all of you. Truth be told, I wasn't sure the conditions in which it would activate here. So, Slayer mode. I'm sure you recognize that probably before you maybe had a momentary lapse of your consciousness, Imiko. Do you remember seeing something on your dash? On your screen?
Yeah,
something that said something...
Yeah,
Good.
I had more than just laps anyway. More like a full-on like experience.
What you experienced, or what that was, the Slayer system. One sec, why is my... Go ahead.
Static.
You're static from me?
Yeah, static.
Hopefully that wasn't too loud. It probably was.
Right. Yeah.
Is it still staticky now?
No.
Cool, okay. But yes, so she would... Yes, so the Slayer mode. She will continue speaking. I had actually pulled it up, that was why I was pausing for a moment, sorry. Or what's known as Slayer Protocol. When a Vanguard encounters a unit with, or specifically an MA designation unit, a set of conditions are met to activate what's called Slayer Protocol. Slayer Protocol, well, it attempts to force the unit into a state of heightened offensive capabilities, using a effectively it maxes out the unit's assault-based capabilities to match that of the MA unit. To slay the unit, if you will.
Wow, real creative, huh?
Latricia kind of looks over, and she's like, "Slayer Protocol, I don't recall reading about this in any guild books or anything." She says you wouldn't. It's a black box system. She kind of looks over. Black box? What do you mean by that?
Black box, like something like you hear from the pilots when they go down sometimes, I mean, it's like installed in all of our mechs, I assume, right?
Kind of says, he kind of sits up. I assume a bit. I think what she's saying is that it's something that they didn't put in. It's just something that seems to always be present, right? She nods.
So,
It's a system. It's something that's built into the system of almost every Vanguard, it seems. We don't know exactly why it's there. It's not exactly like we tried to design it either. Even units that we fabricated, I should say that are new Vanguard units, as long as the frame within is a Vanguard frame. It seems somehow the system always appears, no matter who builds it.
So who exactly built it into it, though?
We don't know. My guess, based on my own studies, would be that the Architekians, in some way, when they made the first Vanguards, or whoever was along with them in their era, made the first Vanguards, it was intended to be built for some purpose, but I don't know what that purpose is. And at the moment, I'm not sure anyone does.
Well, I mean, like, we got from my Gramps, right? He surely could, like, explain about it.
She
It
kind of
was
shakes her
from him.
head. The only thing he might know is the BOPS mode specifics. I saw it when I was surveying the unit one day, but I wasn't able to get any information from it. It seems as though that system is tied to the Slayer protocol. I guess it's like a special type of version of it, but I could not get any details of it. Once again, it seems as though the designers of the unit were very careful to keep things hidden. Latricia kind of says, what about... So, does that mean Nameless? She says, yes. Nameless also was equipped with a Slayer protocol. She says, so that's why. She's like, Krya kind of looks over, it must have activated for you as well. Well, it seems as though your experience was different than the others. Latricia kind of nods. And Kaya will continue. In general, however, when Slayer Protocol is active, it forces, as I said, the pilot and the unit to experience the full capabilities of themselves. However, there is a very notable drawback with this, I'm sure you can guess. There's the double-edged sword with the Slayer Protocol is that it has a heavy load on the pilot's cognitive and physical capacity. As the neural load is increased, it supplements the unit's abilities and ignores, well, something that we don't know the full extent of, but another thing called the Domination Protocol. We don't exactly know what activates that, but we do know that Slayer Protocol, when activated, can acknowledge or ignore it. Latricia kind of looks over and thinking like domination. What about the... You mentioned physical or cognitive losses. Kaya kind of nods. This can result in a few things. Loss of simple to major motor functions, memory loss, extreme amounts of brain damage in the worst cases. Patricia kind of says...
How are you feeling, girl?
Crow kind of says... He holds up his fingers like showing a peace sign. He's like, I'm not doing too bad. After all, we did get that bastard Isaiah. Oh, right.
Yeah.
I kind of dozed off after that. What happened to him?
Well, apparently, that it'll, you kind of, went to sleep. Me and the Pawnee over here got into a fight. Nothing, just one word. Don't worry about it.
So,
We just, nothing much,
Nothing much.
Yeah, nothing much. And Imako will give her a look, like a side-eye look.
Pawnee is like staring Imiko down.
I'm glaring at her too.
They're both glaring at each other.
Crow's like, did I miss something? I'm confused.
No, you didn't miss much, babe.
Okay.
You didn't.
Kaya, looks over, left and right at both of you. Well, regardless of that, I'm happy that you're all alright. It seems as though Crow's motor functions and such are mostly in order, though we do want to keep him overnight just to make sure. Latricia kind of looks over. Out of curiosity, if the Slayer Protocol is this dangerous, why? She kind of shakes her head. I don't know. I don't know why they're in these units.
So I don't get the problem here. I mean, it helped us, and not only that, it was actually pretty damn good after I got in control of it for a while. I mean, what's
Lat-
the big deal about it?
Latricia
What do
kind
you
of
mean?
looks
What's the
over.
big deal?
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal, honey. I mean, like, we took down the big bad thing, and nothing new besides, a little mild headache. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, girl?
Permanent brain damage, and you're like, it's a little mild headache.
Latricia's like paralysis as well. It sounds like you could get.
Well, there was no paralysis at all.
Latricia's like
Oh, you're
this
moving
time.
now.
Now there won't be a this next time, okay? Probably gonna use it
Sorry
sparingly.
about that.
Latricia looks over. Is there a way that we can shut this off? She kind of thinks. Through will. She kind of sighs. Latricia's like, will? She's like, yes. Someone that knows how to use. Someone that has unlocked the system should be able to forcibly restrain it once more. Latricia says, that doesn't. She's like, you make it sound like it's not. You make it sound easy, but I feel like we're missing. She nods.
Apani looks at Latricia and is like, well, I will you to stop taking pain just so I don't suffer.
She kind of like grunts of it, like, right. Kind of says, to be fair, as much as Latricia might not even want to do that, or sorry, might want to do that, even if she didn't want to, it might be difficult. Because you're using an amplified MNLS and not an NLD, she's still going to be the primary target of any type of load.
So it's my fault because I didn't get the stupid chip in my brain.
Latricia's like, no. Kaya's like, well, to be fair, I wouldn't say that it's your fault, but in terms of connection, she's recognized as a higher connection. It can draw more from her.
I mean, it wasn't that bad, you know? I mean, you kind of like dodged a bullet right there, Bonnie.
I don't want you.
Gotcha.
Apani just like looks at Latricia and is like, I don't want you to take double the load just so I don't feel pain.
Kaya says, to be fair though, Latricia... Even among others, I am surprised for Latricia to have taken this much of a neural load. She seems to be doing quite well. Based on some of the initial charts that we had, Latricia did have one of the highest amplitudes for the system. If that's the case, she might be somewhat... Immune's not the right word. She might be even more highly resilient than most people with this type of system.
Just because you can withstand breaking your leg doesn't mean you should.
That's a good point. Which is why that you need to be careful in case you encounter any other MA units. If it happens, the system will try to activate. You should be able to force it to keep it shut. But... be careful.
But what?
I'm not sure, she kind of says, I'm not sure what type, considering they have one of these units, I'm not sure what they were looking for on this island. But if my hunch is correct, that's not the only MA unit they have.
Sure it isn't.
Tahari, I believe, is speaking with some of the other, the other leaders at the moment. I want to get a report from them before we meet with them in the morning, and the next day.
Not too beneficial.
She nods. Yes. Until then, though, you should all rest up. Please, you all deserve it for a well-done operation.
Well, not for me anyway. I'm gonna go back and train until we get like the green light. Until we get the green light
You
anyway.
need to sleep too.
No, I do not.
Why not?
Because I gotta have to be ready. Like I said before, you gotta be ready.
Are you gonna be ready if you're dozing off?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, for you anyway.
What do you mean for
Latricia says, that's your captain telling you that you should get some rest.
Well,
I'm not saying there's a captain. I'm
Well, if
saying
I
there's
really
a
have
bird.
so and she's gonna step off like and just gotta get out of the room like, and I'm gonna go to the training room.
Don't fall asleep on a barbell. I've heard they're very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Don't sleep on the door as well.
Patricia
Don't
kind of.
sleep on doors. Where did you hear that?
I look at Apani, remember that? And I look at Apani. I still remember all those years ago. I'm just kidding.
Don't make me cast cacophony again.
Patricia
Don't make me
said.
cast.
Crow's like,
Don't make
don't
me-
cast in cacophony again. We fix the room, please.
Yeah.
Patricia's like, Abimako, you promised. If you wanted me to show you how to be a blast gladiator.
Rimiko will roll her eyes and just say, fine. But I'm still gonna go train anyway.
That's fine.
So you guys lot get some sleep and rest, okay?
Get some sleep as well.
Yeah, later. And then she'll like leave.
Mm-hmm. Well, as that happens, Patricia kind of looks over to you and says, Apani, how are you doing?
Fine.
You don't sound fine. You
I'm
sound
fine.
upset.
I'm fine. Stop digging.
She kind of thinks for a minute. I'm asking because I'm concerned.
I don't want you to kill yourself just to save me.
I'm not.
Okay. I'm fine.
She kind of thinks. She kind of looks over, and Crow, he's like, I'm doing just fine, just need some rest.
She is also fine.
Yeah. As that's happening, Gwen, you're gonna get yanked to the side by Kaya. I don't know if Gwen is here. But
Lewis.
that's alright. Gwen is gonna get yanked to the side by Kaya, and in the
Can he get
background...
yanked to the side with a metal pipe?
No, he cannot. Please don't.
Damn.
Kaya's gonna yank Gwen to the side. And you're gonna hear her... At first it sounds like her regular voice, and then you hear her say, "Why would you lie to me about that? You know that Bruce's condition..." And like, it's just, you can hear her getting a little bit more upset. Before it kind of dies out as she seemingly pulled her down like the hall. I was like, so I guess it was Brew really in there. Huh.
Yep.
Well, honestly, it was kind of piloting pretty well. I think it suits him.
He still needs to stop making stupid decisions.
Yeah, but
Who's
honestly,
angry?
I think Kai is being a little bit overzealous here. He's mostly healed. In fact, I wouldn't even say he's mostly. He's fully healed up. And at least it's not the glass unit, so we don't have to worry about the mental neuro load. So, if anything, this is probably a better option for him. He wants to help, and I don't blame him for wanting to help. I know he still feels guilty about everything.
I want him to not get himself killed.
What's that saying? Sometimes the worst thing that can happen is feeling like you can't do anything, and being able to not doing anything. I feel like Brew's in that lately. So when he has the opportunity to do something, he's gonna jump at it. You know?
Sure, but still.
I think he's fine. I think we should trust him.
I never said I didn't trust him.
Yeah, I know. But you know what I mean.
Fair.
Also, he kind of looks over. He'll look over at Bo, you, and Latricia, and he kind of says, so, I said, so, how was managing things, captains?
Don't call me captain.
Why not? I feel like it's fitting.
Don't feel like much of a captain.
I see. You're still having issues kind of feeling that like you fit that role, I'm guessing?
I don't want to talk about it.
Did something happen while I was out in that battle?
Oh. Everything went as planned.
Then what's the problem?
Nothing.
I'm kind of thinks. He's just looking at you like, Roll me a instinctual, Bonnie.
Okay. Oh no.
Would this be no? I guess it'd be a misdirect. Actually, it'd be a misdirect, not instinctual.
I mean, either or, is a Pawnee lying or is a Pawnee telling the truth?
Yes, is a Pawnee telling the truth or is a Pawnee lying?
Good question. Because the thing is, like, a Pawnee isn't necessarily lying to herself. Yeah, a Pawnee isn't lying to herself.
But is she lying to
Pawnee's
Crow?
like,
That's the
well,
only thing that's important.
a Pawnee's not necessarily lying to Crow either.
Misleading.
I mean, did things go exactly misleading? Kinda. Here's the thing: is like, did things go exactly to plan? No.
No.
But is everything fine? Yeah, because we've been through a lot worse.
True. Also, literally every operational point was actually successful, without any losses, and technically injuries, despite Crow being in the hospital right now. But like, he's not actually fully injured. He just needs rest. So.
Like, a Pawnee's just kind of agitated and exhausted, but a Pawnee's not necessarily trying to lie to Crow.
All right. In that case, it wouldn't really be an instinctual. I guess you don't really need to roll anything, I guess. I guess maybe more like a charm? Because you're not lying. He just needs to be convinced that you're being forthright.
Fair. Pawnee's not really in a charming mood.
I guess his mood... He kind of looks you a little bit up and down. He says... Alright, I guess if it's nothing else, then... No. He kind of says, by the way, he's like, everything did go as planned. Or not, it's not, it didn't go as planned. Did go at least to success, right? I mean, we got Tahari, we reclaimed Icon, Isle, we even got Isaiah. Even though I guess I'm not really sure what his state's in.
It was successful, but at what cost? So Pawnee got a 23 on the charm, but a Pawnee is not really trying to charm anyone.
Yeah, it's just more that he's convinced that you're like fine. You said that at what cost? He kind of thinks and he's like I don't know. What was the cost? He's like kind of confused. I guess damages, but that's kind of to be expected. Can you think of a cost?
A Pawnee remains silent.
Okay. I mean, either way, I'll just rest up here for the night. And back to normal scheduled Crow time in the morning. kind of starts to drift off back to sleep.
I kind of steps away to go find Bro.
We go find Brew.
Mm-hmm.
You, you step away. I assume, are you walking away from Latricia?
Yes.
Latricia kind of looks, and she kind of notes that it seems like you want to be left alone, so she'll just nod her head and she will leave. She's gonna go find Emiko. Meanwhile, yeah, you go to find Brew. Brew is... you look a little bit, it takes a minute to find him. He is currently in his room, or currently by his room with Gwendolyn, and, what is it? Kaya seems to be walking away, just kind of shaking her head like, those two, they can be quite troublemakers. Or at least they mean well, and you'll see her walk by. She doesn't seem to pay you much mind. Brew kind of like, sorry, Gwen, I didn't mean to make you get chewed out as well. And she just kind of shakes her head, like, kind of seeming like it's fine, and kind of notes that it's fine, that she was happy to do it. And then they kind of see you approach, and she'll kind of wave off, and say she's gonna head back to her room, and then he'll look over like, huh, Apani, how was it going?
Fine.
No offense. Are you always this moody when it's fine?
Of course.
Uh-huh.
No, that's a misdirect.
Roll that misdirect. Yeah, he believes you.
I didn't roll yet.
I rolled a 1. He's like,
Ooh.
in either case, unless you roll a 1 as well, he's like, in either case, so can I help you with
I
something?
rolled a 24. God damn.
It's like, in either case, can I help you with something? I was just about to head to the lifting room,
Why
to the
did
training
you
room.
during the fight?
What?
You heard me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But I know what you did.
I could not tell you what happened in that fight. I was on the ship and was watching from afar. He makes like a gesture, like he's looking out, like using his eye, like putting the finger or the hand up to his eyelids. He's like, I could not see what was happening directly, but I heard everything went well.
Is he try to convince me? Is he even gonna try to convince me?
No, he's trying. Roll he's gonna roll a misdirect. You roll a mood. I mean, you know he's lying, but...
15.
Yeah... Even though he is, despite his joking demeanor, it's not that you know he's lying. It's more that he is kind of like distracting, like he's being deliberately flippant and kind of like avoiding the subject. And you have almost not noticed that he's like been backing up slowly towards the corner.
Apani is gonna walk closer to him once she notices.
Yes, what was this about, random things happening in fights and, what now?
Why must you lie?
I'm not oh, alright. Yes, I was in that unit. It wasn't a big deal, though.
It wasn't?
No, I thought it was better than me going in the glass unit. Not only is that thing very expensive and, well, it's the something that they've been using as a prop test model of sorts. I thought it'd be better for me to use something that was a bit more equipped and tested. The Raven, I felt like, was better for that. I figured you'd all be worried about me if I used that experimental unit, so I figured I'd use the other unit.
You could have, like, got on the comms and said something.
He would actually say, he's like, we didn't, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to trouble you.
You could have said something, like, as soon as you got out in the field so we wouldn't think you're an enemy or something.
You would think that I was an enemy piloting one of our units?
How do I know they haven't hijacked the ship?
That's fair, I guess. I suppose you're right, Captain.
I'm not saying this is your captain. Stop calling me that.
Okay.
Don't get yourself killed. Let people know.
I understand. That being said, is a normal Apani or
I'm just saying this as a Pawnee, not as a captain or a leader. I'm not ordering you to do something.
Oh.
I just would appreciate if you gave us a heads up, and if you're hiding because you think we don't trust you, I trust you. I just don't want you to get yourself killed.
That's fair. He kind of relaxes a bit and he's like, I've been thinking. I've been thinking about things. This whole situation and such. Me making amends and everything. I know that it'd be easy if it just came with my death. I learned that in the summits. It's not fair. I can't just wipe away the things I've done and how things have gone by simply dying in battle, killing myself in that way.
If you keep continuing on as you're continuing on right now, I already forgive you. But if you decide that you're going to take the easy way off, I will hold vengeance on your grave for the rest of my life.
That's kind of scary. I'll have to keep that in mind. He kind of like waves. Well.
Just remember that.
Understood. He kind of says, "Oh, that being said, why are you so against being called captain?"
Mind your business.
Is that a normal Apani statement or
Yes, I'm just a Pawnee. Now, leave me alone. Anyway, see you later. Bye. Pawnee walks out the room.
He just chuckles to himself. And I assume you're just gonna... Where are you heading?
Towards Balin.
Towards Balin. They're in the hangar area.
Okay, that's where Pawnee's going.
Meanwhile, Imiko, as you're kind of training in the hall, probably hitting a dummy a bit and kind of practicing your martial combat skills, Latricia would walk in and kind of look over to you and say, "Imiko, hey Imiko." And she kind of yells out to you.
Yes. Yeah, what do you need?
Come over here. I wanted to ask you something.
Okay. Just like go up here. Go up to it.
She kind of like standing over you as you kind of walk over, and she just looks and like, Imiko, why are you always butting heads with a Pawnee over simple things?
Oh, you know, that's all we usually do, even before we hooked up, you know?
Well, yeah, but it just feels as though that you're always... What's the word?
Like what?
It just feels as though... I don't know. It's always petty, and I feel like you don't... I feel like you're not exactly giving... Never mind. She kind of sighs.
Yeah, sure, sure. You wanna get something to drink? Let's just head over there, yeah? We walk and talk, yeah?
Sure, we can walk and talk. And she'll kind of, yeah, she'll motion. I can walk with you.
So, what's on your mind, Trish?
When I was piloting Nameless, I was connected, of course, to Pawnee, so I could feel certain things and sensations that she was. It was... What's the word? Melancholic? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, she's always been like that. Even when she's trying to hide it.
Yes, but I'm always afraid that... I don't know. I'm always afraid that she's not willing to open up when she should, and she doesn't want us to help. Or maybe that's the wrong word. Maybe I'm afraid that she'll get stuck in something and she won't ask for help when she needs it.
Just give her some time. Eventually she'll open up.
I feel like it all started with the Hawaii thing. After then, she's been... I don't know, a bit more closed off. It's crazy to say, but even sharing it almost feels like a somewhat mind link. It's almost like I feel just still distant to her.
Well, when I see her, I'll go give her a talk, okay?
I don't know if that's the best idea.
Actually, no, not like a talk, as in, like, we go and spar. That's how I usually, you know, help move things along, you know?
Right. Well, maybe that might not be a bad distraction. She gonna thinks. Are you really not worried about the Slayer protocol, though?
Nope. Not at all.
Sometimes I'm envious of your carefreedness, you know.
Well, it's not carefree, more like I'm not afraid of death anyway.
Fair.
I mean, like, hey, I got you guys to, like, you know, get me out of the ring anyway.
Just don't take yourself... She kind of, like, laughs. Just don't take yourself too deep of a hole, though. We might not always be able to get you out of one.
Babe, if you've seen the hole I've made before I met you guys, it would have been goddamn all the way to the planet core.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Well, that being said, she kind of thinks.
Yeah, that being said, how are you feeling, though?
The Slayer protocol was a very interesting experience. Despite me taking on more of the narrow load, like Kaya had suggested, I don't feel that bad, surprisingly. Gwen was even saying something about how it seemed as though there was no issues with me.
See, nothing to it. You just have to take control.
But still, we should use this mode sparingly. Well, I guess it's not exactly like we can just activate it when we want at the moment, but we should be careful to use it. We don't want to end up like Kaya said.
Yeah, by the way, how's Crow doing?
She kind of looks over, she's like, as far as I can tell, he's doing fine. Chatting and stuff like normal, but he's doing alright. He's still resting, though.
Good. I mean, like, despite him being resilient, Bird Boy still has its things to grow about, you know?
I have a feeling they're not just keeping him over just because of the Slayer protocol, though. I think also his little episode might have tripped some of them as well.
I mean, yeah, that too. Like, he didn't like harm us anyway, so.
No, but they still have to probably monitor him a bit just to be safe.
Ah, that's true. Ugh. Oh, by the way, you seen Bruno around?
She kind of looks like left and right down the hallway. Not to my knowledge. I think Kaya pulled him out to speak with him.
Yeah, did want to ask him why did he even like use Crow's Mecha Boss thing about mechs to like come and help us? I mean, like, hey, I appreciate the help, but you should like told us.
Yes, I think it would have been good if he did. At least mention to me or Pani. Or Kaya for that matter, but I guess he's still... I guess he wants to earn back our trust. And he's afraid we will reject him. So we just have to reassure him that he doesn't need to, I guess, try so hard.
Even though we just roll our eyes like, oh, this again? I mean, like, we already, like, went through this, right?
Well, I guess he's still a little bit sensitive about it. It kind of makes sense. She kind of smiles.
Fine, yeah, what? I mean, I feel like, forgive him, despite the, turning coats a bit. Nothing too hard, though.
I wonder how tomorrow's meeting's gonna go.
Well, probably like usual. Just shit.
Something tells me it might be more fruitful than we're realizing.
Probably. Anyway, enough talk. My goddamn throat is punched. Come on. Fight over here.
She kind of looks over. Well, she kind of looks at the time. I guess it's not too early to drink something, but I'm gonna just go for fruit juice.
Sure, fine by me.
You both sit down. Apani, you arrive in the main hangar area. And you can see that Valen has currently got like a clipboard, basically, and they're checking certain things off while they're looking at something. Brishk is in their dragon form, and they're kind of like... They look like they're kind of surveying different parts of Nameless at the moment.
Kapani would like to stealthily tiptoe over and just like pat Balin on the shoulder.
Roll me a stealth check.
Is the hangar dark?
No, it's actually
yeah.
lit up right now.
Okay. Okay, got it. And he's just going to slow to you. I rolled a 31.
Yeah, you're fine. You
Hopefully,
quickly
I don't scare the shit out of Balin.
dark between between like crate to crate, making sure very carefully to ensure that your presence is not detected by honestly anybody at this point. You very quickly move your way over and towards Balin, and like a cat pouncing on a mouse, you leap quite quickly over and just give them a little quick tap on the shoulder. Nothing nothing hard or anything like that, just a quick little tap. And Balin kind of looks like they don't really jump, they just kind of like, you can feel like their muscles flex for a moment, and they look kind of left and right for a moment, and then catch you right behind them. And then you can see their muscles begin to slowly untent as they continue to look at you and then speak. Apani, what do I owe the pleasure?
Sorry for startling you.
Yes, you have a habit. You have a habit of doing that. Yes.
So how's it going?
If you're wondering, it's going all right. At this point, it is notable that Balin is pregnant, I should say, but she just kind of looks up at the units. You can see like she kind of rests a clipboard a little bit on her stomach as she's kind of like looking up at Nameless, and she says, "Your unit is quite well, just acting quite intriguing. We were trying to get some information out of it, but it doesn't seem as though it's being as forthright. But I don't think that's because it's trying to lie to us. It's almost as if the machine doesn't know certain things about itself. It's weird to say, but I'd almost chalk it up to an amnesiac's response to the questions. For instance, we asked for data regarding the data and battle logs about the previous combat, and there's gaps in it. Whenever we ask about these gaps, it's almost as if it doesn't even know that it well, it doesn't know what happened. We can ask it to perform rudimentary runovers of the combat, but when we ask for specifics, blank, quite odd.
Perhaps when it went into that mode, it went through experienced amnesia.
That mode. She pulls something up. She pulls out one of those, like, tablet-like screens, and she kind of presses a couple buttons, drags something across. Do you recall? She kind of says, "Do you mean when this happened?" And it's an outside view from far away. It looks like it was from. It looks like it's taken from another machine's like view, probably Alora's, as she's looking at Nameless and Quan. And the first shot is of Quan when it starts to kind of shake a little bit. It powers down for a moment, and then the energy fur and tails explode from its body and kind of flow back and forth in the air as it kind of rears its head up and lets out a bellowing roar before it leaps towards the other monster armor unit. Besides that, though, there's another clip where it seems like it's looking at Nameless, and Nameless kind of also seizes up for a second, and its eyes seem to flicker into a different kind of color. The purple almost changes a different contrast, or I guess shade. And it seems to not just glow across the eyes, but in some of the seams of the armor as well.
Yep, that one.
We're not exactly sure what that was about, but my guess is it's tied to this. And she pulls up the thing that says Slayer Protocol. This is the only recorded thing we have before those gaps. Anytime we try to dig deeper, this is the only thing we can get. My guess is that whatever this protocol is has some type of connection to the intermittent gaps in the unit's memory, if I had to presume.
I wonder if we could find some architecting literature that would really get into why Slayer Protocol is what it is.
I'm sure you'd be a very wealthy woman if you could find that, but yes, it seems that might be the case. That if we could probably get more information. Or better yet, an engineer that knows architecture and technology like that. Though not as likely. Oh, sorry. I should say not as likely around these parts.
What do you mean by that?
Well, Adela Enterprises, most from what I understand, their repurposed technology isn't inherently from the Architekians.
Where is it from?
Not quite sure. I just know it. I believe it was someone related to fiends, Insanio something, and someone else maybe. Considering the connection to Golgotha, my guess would be it was probably something from their lands.
We should look into that a bit more.
Perhaps.
Speaking of technology, though, have you started working on perhaps a bulletproof baby onesie or a bulletproof stroller or car seat or just anything? You don't seem prepared enough.
She kind of thinks for a minute. She just scribbles on like her not notebook. I'm sorry, her clipboard, and stops. I'm not thinking about it. I'm trying to avoid thinking about it at the moment. Please. She kind of actually seems like she's lost for words. She's like, I don't want to think about it.
Why?
I'm still not sure if I'm ready for this.
You're not really like the homestead type, so preferably the baby stays inside while you're outside. Then the off chance that we get into a sticky situation, it's good to have some sturdy gear. Like maybe something like this exosuit that I have, but like, baby size.
We can't keep them on the ship, not like this.
You're right. Perhaps we could build a bunker attached to the ship that's like in the center of it. It's just like everything proof. And then the baby will live there temporarily. course.
Balin kind of says, I've been thinking about it, and maybe it might be best if, after the children are born, just maybe finding a place to settle down for a bit.
Fair, though my other concern is that, especially due to the whole retribution thing, that this is probably the safest place for it.
You think that they send someone after us? I don't think they'd get
Um,
far. She kind of keeps writing.
I, while I understand that you are very strong and powerful, I do think we have a target on our heads and probably safer on the ship than just a regular house and noblesse.
Well then, we'll just have to make sure that that we finish this up before I have the children. And she kind of finishes writing something, clicks her pen, puts it in her back pocket.
True, but I think we should perhaps build like a failsafe, maybe like an everything-proof bunker, just in like the center of the ship.
I think it might be best to be not on the ship that's constantly getting attacked, and maybe closer to the base. She's looking
True.
back at you.
True, but like you know how like stress sometimes can like induce labor? Like what if you get too stressed out towards the end of the fight and then you go in labor, like
I don't get stressed out.
you know that's a lie.
She just kind of like stares at you and doesn't really say anything.
You're stressed right now. You're stressed because I'm talking about this.
I am taking things, well, adequately.
Yes, but you know, like preparation is good.
And I am prepared, which is why we will not be on the ship when I have these children. We will be somewhere on the base or in another part of the Lapsus area. And she kind of finishes. She looks over at the tablet. She says, "Here you go. This is a list of." She'll hand you a sheet of paper and basically says, "You'll need to give this to one of the engineers so they can resupply Nameless's weapons. For the most part, you're fine on most rounds, but you did use a lot of the tail cannon's priming blast, so you'll need some charges there."
I appreciate that. And perhaps I should stop stressing you out.
She kind of just sighs and just says, "It would be nice." As she starts to walk away, she's like, "God, I'm already not showing mother material. Now I've got to deal with." She like just murmured to herself, "Now I got to deal with this."
Bonnie just like chases after her, and Bonnie's like, wait. You are definitely mother material. In fact, I think you'd make a wonderful mother. You know, most people, like, if they had anyone try to come after them, they'd be like screwed. And you're really good with a gun, so like you good parent. Yeah, good parent.
Brishk at this point like morphs back down to his human form and starts walking with like behind Balin and kind of looks over at Balin and she's like, so how he's like, so how are things going? She's like, just fine, actually. I'm hungry. Let's go get food. Together. Alone. And she like looks back towards you.
I'm sorry. Bonnie's just like.
Rish is just confused. He's like, oh, all right. He's like, what about Apani? Then wouldn't she? She's like, oh, I'm sure she's going to get food later. She needs rest, isn't that right, Apani?
Bonnie just walks away with her head down.
Rish is just, you can hear Brish just like, you know, she's just trying to be helpful. You don't have to be. He's like, I know she's trying to be helpful. Don't let her worrying about this. She's already got enough on her plate. And then they walk away.
Apai walks towards Inko in the training room.
They're not in the training room anymore. You walk back there and you find... actually, you know who you'd find in there? Allure. Who seems to be practicing with her, probably with her battle rifle. You would probably walk in and hear like the shots that she's firing at different targets. And then after she lets off a magazine, she'll go to reload and notices you, and she'll kind of take off what looks to be earmuffs, and she kind of just not earmuffs, whatever. She will take them off and will look over towards you. And she'll say, "Yes, what is it?"
I just came to say hi. Have you seen Imiko?
Himiko? She was down the hall with Patricia at the mess hall. I believe they were drinking.
Huh. I'll go join them.
Sure thing.
Would you like to come?
I'm doing fine, actually. I don't need a drink. I need to make sure that I am ready to make my shots in the future.
I think you're always ready for your shots. Don't get too stressed.
She nods.
I should go. I'm not good with words.
She kind of looks
I'm
over
sorry.
at you. What's...
Pani just like rushes out the room.
She just kind of thinks like, okay. And yes, you will make your way back to the mess hall where Latricia and Imiko are drinking before they, yeah. I mean, I guess they would see you enter the room. They're at the bar.
Pani just orders a ginormous fishbowl.
Brew will tell you on the comms that he'll be there to make it in about 5 minutes. He's doing something. But
Pani gets behind the bar and starts making a fishbowl.
fair enough. As that's happening, yeah, Latricia and Imiko are just chilling there.
Yeah.
Latricia just kind of looks over and she'll just say, "So, Imiko,
What?
do you have something to say to Apani?"
Feel like put down her drink on the bar and just say, look and face towards Bonnie, and she'll look up at her and she'll say, with her eyes rolling, "Yes, I am sorry for fighting with you. Can you forgive me?" And she'll give you the most innocent looking eyes.
Pani drops a pint-sized bottle of vodka.
And Latricia looks over. How much that cost? Anyway.
It didn't shatter.
Uh.
Pani thudded against the ground, but Pani was already kind of like low to the ground, just trying to grab things, and then Pani's like shuffling.
Latricia just turns over. That wasn't so hard, was it? She kind of looks at you.
She'll be grinding her teeth like, "Yes, not hard."
Now then, we can have a nice relaxing night.
I'm sorry for snapping.
So she would be just straight to the vodka. So we drinking, we getting shit faced, or what?
I'm currently making a fishbowl, though I can't seem to find the lime. Do you know what the lime is?
She'll look to Latricia. You got a lime?
Latricia kind of says, I think Brew normally keeps it. It's either in the fridge in the back, or it's at the and Brew. You can actually hear the door open as Brew says, "The lime. It's in the back of the fridge on the far right side." Also, I was going to make you your fishbowl. What are you doing?
I need fishbowl now.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasted my time getting here. He turn around and Latricia kind of looks over.
Wait. Would you like
Anyway.
fishbowl too?
He's like, I'm not really in a fish mood. Though there was some chicken in there. I was thinking about good finishing.
Wait, what do you mean there's no fish in a fishbowl?
He's looking confused at you for a minute. He's like, you want...
Do you think I'm drinking out of a fish tank, bro?
I did not know what you meant when you said fishbowl.
Uh, I'm concerned that you would even think I would drink out of a fishbowl. What?
Well, you have been acting weird,
Yeah.
so...
I'm yeah. Upon you should probably call it something else other than a fishbowl.
A giant
You
type of margarita. I don't know. What?
I figured it was some type of, I figured it was some type of noblesian food or something. And you wanted me to just roast you some fish and put it in a bowl.
How dare you?
Oh, I don't judge.
I'm judging. What?
Okay. Latricia holds up her hand and she's like, I'd like a fish, please. He's like, grilled? She's like, sure. He's like, alright, then I can do that. He will head over to the grill portion of the kitchen, and or the mess hall, and he will begin cooking that. So, time will accelerate a bit as everyone finishes their food or drinks. Latricia will probably drag Emiko, who is, I imagine, going to drink probably more than she should, and will drag them back to the room and lay them down.
Wait, before Latricia does that, Apani is like, you have to try this fishbowl.
She'll look over and she'll sniff it a bit and kind of think.
No, to Emiko.
Oh, to Emiko, okay. Emiko, would you like to try the fishbowl? There's even a goldfish in it. No, I'm joking.
There is no fish in my fishbowl.
Alright.
How dare you?
Emiko, would you like to try some of the fishbowl? Uh-oh. I think we lost Emiko for a moment.
Is it time for the metal pipe loose up?
No, it's not.
No, I'm not sleepy. Don't you dare give me that pipe.
Alright,
That's for bed.
Emiko.
Somebody comes by.
Oh, sorry, I wouldn't.
Would you like to try some of the fishbowl? Pawnee is offering it to you before you guys head back to your room for the night.
Sure.
I made it extra strong.
Roll me a fortitude.
I hope.
Me or Emiko?
Both of you. Unless you're not drinking the one you're giving Emiko.
No, Apani is definitely, there's like 2 straws in it, one towards Emiko, one towards Apani, and
Roll
I
me a
both drink half of
fortitude.
it.
Emiko's not gonna like sip on it. She's gonna knock it back. All in one gulp.
Real. Apani, like, it's like massive. Mind you, this fishbowl is like almost, no, it is a gallon size. It's massive. Apani is like slurping as fast as possible. That sounds weird. Just don't look into that. Apani wrote a 12 on the fortitude.
Alright, you're hammered. Emiko?
10.
Both of you, after you get about halfway through the drink, it feels as though you're a lot warmer and you're feeling nice. You're feeling a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? Tipsy. You don't feel, I would say this, you're probably not drunk, but you're definitely like a little buzz, a little spoosy.
What was that?
If you keep going, you will probably be getting drunk, like actually drunk.
Yeah. Emiko will definitely knock her back again.
Alright, roll me fortitude.
Apani is struggling for dear life.
Roll me fortitude, both of you.
Apani rolled a dirty 20.
Alright. You finish the drink. Apani, you're still a bit tipsy, but you don't get more drunk. Emiko, you got a 15. you immediately see stars, and they're moving around. You want to catch those stars, but you're a little too slow to catch the stars. You're kind of wobbling in your seat, wiggling your arms, like you're in a rave for worms. And Latricia's just going to pick you up and be like, "Okay, we're gonna go to bed now." And upon you stumble a little bit getting up, but you are able to leave. The room does feel a little bit like it's shifting back and forth. Maybe that's the plane moving. But
He
it,
grabs Emiko's hand.
yep, and Latricia will kind of curl her tail a little bit around your waist just to keep you a bit steady, and it does actually kind of keep you a little bit more straightened out. But yeah, you guys are just gonna head back to the room. Yes, exactly. That is what Emiko is feeling right now. That image right there. um. So yes.
Alfredo and Oliver are feeling that too.
Oh, are they doing the worm at the moment?
Yes,
I see.
the hiss one.
Well, you guys head back for the night, and you guys manage to get an actual long rest. So, we will do or we're not done. Don't worry. Let's see. So now, time acceleration time. Let me get some. So I had to pull up the timeline here. All right. So after the primary battle has occurred, after the primary battle has occurred, about 2 days pass, or 2 to 3 days pass. And I will say, over the course of those 2 to 3 days, the original plan was to have the meeting that first day. However, due to some complications that arise, that will be pointed out when the meeting happens in a moment, it kind of gets delayed, and you guys are basically put on a standby, effectively, for the time being. During this time, a couple of interesting things happen, I should say. So first, as stated, Icon Fall has been claimed by the Lapsus Initiative. To this extent, there are currently discussions about who the Isle should fall into, like who should have the island. Because originally it's in Memorem territory, but there are some, the Consortium, who say that because of the nature of this battle, and because of what the Retribution was doing here, Memorem can't be trusted to alone be overseeing this isle and its items, so say technology. This has obviously been countered by some in the initiative, such as by Sheena Lee, who has from the Memorem, who have said that this is not only not in the Consortium's territory, however, the Consortium's counter offer of basically doing the one thing they wanted to do, which is station their own people on the Isle and effectively make it their own de facto industrialization area, would basically uproot the Memorem's ability to do anything here. But after a couple of back and forth discussions, it's kind of decided that the Memorems can keep this area. However, the Lapsus Initiative will also be stationed here as well. So there'll be guild forces, noblesse forces, etc. in the area. However, the Memorems do technically have ownership of the Isle, since it is and agreed it is in their territory and such. The only thing they must do is just kind of relay if there are any notable discoveries, we'll say. Which we'll get into what some of the initial discoveries were and why that was kind of a rule that was made. Past this, most of the remaining Memorem Retribution members Memorem Retribution members that are on the island come out of hiding and basically surrender, or they have fled. The island is completely under your control at this point. Or I should say Lapsus Initiative's control. For the most part, there is some animosity for from certain groups towards the Retribution members, notably from the Memorens that are not part of the Retribution, the Consortium, and a few spatterings of it in the Noblessians, but not too many from them. Mainly just the Consortium and Memorem regulars that are. The Memorem. Now, I will say the reasons are still different, as you recall from the one fight that you saw before the operation. The Consortium people do not trust the. Honestly, they don't really trust the Memorens, and they don't really trust the Retribution. Obviously, they shouldn't trust the Retribution, but they don't really trust that the Retribution people are not just basically lying in wait to strike again. And some of them don't think that it's fair that they got to do what they did in the summit and initial parts of the conflict, and basically get off with a, as they put it, a slap on the wrist and a community service charge. Um, the other Memorans are kind of chastising the Retribution for a little bit of similar but also different reasons. A lot of them are upset because they feel that the Memorem Retribution is kind of mucking up the recovering relations that Memorem was having with some of the other nations, specifically with Noblesse and such, due to this conflict. And a lot of them also are not happy that the accusations being made from the Retribution are that the Memorem regulars with Ashin are basically traitors to the Memorem people. So there's a bit of tit for tat happening among different groups. This is mostly being kind of subsided by the regular, like the Lapsus initiative, like in general. Anytime it's happening, most of the leadership is calling it out and telling people to stop. So things, while a little bit at a simmer, are not boiling over into anything major. One moment. Okay, that's what that was. I thought it was the cat. I heard something at the door. And I was like, I was confused if someone was trying to get in. Sorry, I was getting a drink. Yes, past that. I'm just going through my list real quick. Yes. So, there is a discovery that is made. There's a couple of mining sites across the island that were discovered, as well as a group of Memorem Retribution members that were, it seems like an entire 3 squads were completely wiped out in the forest. No one knows why this happened. There are no records in the battle of these squads being even encountered by any of the Sphere forces. This is currently under investigation. It's assumed that it might have been wildlife that attacked. However, there are signs that whatever attacked them might not have been inherently organic. It's not really known. It's weird. The indications of, well, what would be the indications of a normal beast are slightly present, but there's also signs of some type of machine. Some people are believing it might be a beast-type construct of some kind, but there's also weird signs of some type of organic thing. Things like, not just claw marks, but things like, we'll say, like, residue that's not just, like, oil or something for, like, a machine, but, like, blood and something that could have been from an attack. The guild is currently trying to see what it could be, like, what they're basically doing tests to see what it could be with their alchemist and some of their physicians, but they have gotten no conclusive results at this point yet. Past that, there is yeah, I think for the most part, yeah, because everything else basically comes up during the meeting. Okay. So this is all stuff you guys would have basically heard from the grapevine. Oh, I should say your special forces group that basically did that operation has been given some accolades in general for the success of how things went with your portion, as well as you all taking your group specifically for taking out the mobile or the monster armor unit that came and attacked. your group has been given a special accolade from the guild, not necessarily just the Lapsus Spear, for destroying that unit and taking Isaiah. That actually would be brought up in the mission, but from what you've heard before this meeting is started, Isaiah's condition was critical and is now seemingly stable on the fourth day, or like I guess the fourth day after. However, he's not really responding well to stimuli and or questioning. Isaiah, the word is that Isaiah suffered a acute brain aneurysm after his how shall we say, dislodging from the unit. Somehow. Somehow that happened. It's not believed. You have a point. I should probably do that. One moment. Nah, it's fine. I'll just replay this portion to him. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's not I kind of lost my train of thought after I read that. Damn. It's not known if what specific information he might have had preceding the whole conflict, I guess you'd say here. It seems as though he's got a little bit of memory loss. He knows he's Isaiah Torrington. He knows he was working with the Retribution. He just has gaps in his memory all throughout the last 6 months. Specifically, he doesn't remember getting into the unit. He acknowledges that he was thrusted out of something, but he doesn't recall getting in the unit, nor does he recall anything during the fight. He doesn't recall anything from the time of getting on the island, seeing something that was from an excavation site, and then waking up kind of on the floor, getting slapped around by some of your party, and then being thrown in a cell. Well, not thrown in a cell, thrown into a medical ward and being under guard.
Are we sure that he doesn't remember any of it, or he's just lying and saying he doesn't remember any?
Based on multiple people's assessments, he genuinely does not seem like he knows. He's still antagonistic against your group, but it also seems like he's almost instinctively reacting. Like he knows he shouldn't be positive towards your group, but he doesn't seem like he knows certain things. There's specifically something that was brought up, was that when he was asked about his involvement with his involvement during the meetings at the estate. Remember the estate you guys were at? He does not recall any of that, and he doesn't recall any of you.
Does that mean that he doesn't know what our group looks like?
Yep. He recalls your group in the sense that he remembers getting slapped around by one of you, but he doesn't know who you are.
Oh.
He just
Which
knew
one
you.
does he remember being slapped around by? The human, the cat?
It was. I'm actually trying to look. I believe it was the kitsune that tore. Wait, whichever one tore him out of the unit. I don't remember if that was Nameless or if that was Quan. I think it was Nameless.
I think it was Nameless.
Yeah, so he recalls the
I'm
human.
pretty sure Bonnie.
Yeah, so he recalls the human then.
So Apani would like to go and visit him.
When you visit him, it is under surveillance by other guild, not guild. I guess it's guild and like probably Memorem guard. As you are, I guess, asking him questions, he's a bit apprehensive when he sees you, and he recalls that you killed the other guy, the other pilot, as it were. But he doesn't. He's like he kind of seems not knowing really what you want from him.
I want information. There's two options. You get another acute brain injury, or you talk.
He would respond,
Up to you.
What do you want to know?
How are you connected with the Retribution and why?
You see, I was doing this for my country, my people. We couldn't let that's right, we couldn't let them burn our nation again. We couldn't let them hurt our people again. We would make sure they knew that when Memorem wasn't to be trifled with again. They would feel the pain of what we experience. Wait, no, what we're experiencing. What's happening now, right? He seems a bit lost for a moment, and he kind of almost like it's like he's trying to recall something. He says it's the
Are
rising
you
war
burning
just ended.
so that no one else burns your country?
He kind of thinks for a minute, and he says, "People tell me that the rising war is over. That the
Yes.
Civil War is over. But that can't be. It's only AWO02.
No. If it was that time, I would barely be alive right now. I'd just be a little one.
They tell me it's AWO11. But that doesn't make sense.
How old are you?
He looks back. He... I don't actually remember. I think I have it written down, but I don't actually have his age off the top of my head. But I think he's like 48 or 44, one of those
Oh,
two.
how old does he think he is?
He would tell you the age that would be. He would probably tell you he's in his 30s. Which, specifically, he would tell you an age that's comparable to what you would expect for AWO2. Knowing his actual age. You would know his actual age. You would look, like, they would just tell you, they'd look it up.
You've heard a lot.
So, have I been pulled into some type of illusion? Is this some consortium torture chamber I've seen them skulking about?
Oh, I'm not consortium. I feel like you could probably tell by just looking at me.
No, you're not. But neither are some of these others, but yet they work with those infidels. Those burners. Those blind
Feelings
birds.
aside, I would say feelings aside about the consortium, but if I'm being completely honest, the whole point of the initiative is so that all of the sides can stop fighting. In a way, if you think about it, the initiative is kind of keeping the consortium in line.
This initiative, I've heard about it. They keep telling me that this is what this group is here. But it's impossible. There's no way the consortium, even if they submitted to the guild for now, would agree to something like this. No, it must be a lie. So, you've come here to extract information from me. Or this lie to uphold of some kind. They'll double cross
You do realize that the initiative as a whole is stronger than the consortium, right?
They'll double cross you when they get the chance. You know it.
How? If the initiative as a whole is stronger than the consortium individually, then how?
You must not know what happened in some of the burnings. You think that just because the consortium, some of their leadership got cold feet, that their people didn't decide on the ground to do some atrocities.
Oh, I know that they did.
Well, once you get people caught in an uproar, it's hard to stop it, even if you tell them to stop from the top. Unless you're putting your own feet on the ground to do something about that. Things can get a little out of hand.
What makes you think I'm not putting my own feet on the ground?
Oh, I don't mean you, my dear. I mean these people. And he kind of motions gestures to around. I'm sure that they think that they can keep yes, I'm sure that they think that they can keep all of this all civil. But if what they tell me is anyway true, and the Consortium has been brought to heel by this, whatever this initiative is, well, as soon as these blind birds get a whiff of weakness, a whiff of, we'll say, comeuppance or retribution done to them, they'll decide to lash out. And it won't matter what the top says, whatever your leader says, not unless they're willing to put their neck on the line and stop it right there. That didn't happen when our people burned. Their captains and commanders either endorsed it or let it go.
You know, the initiative didn't exist when the Rising War was going on.
So it seems. It seems I'm missing a
Also,
lot of time.
the initiative has been putting their feet on the ground. It's not just a bunch of people in pretty suits sitting in an office somewhere.
That would be a marked change from the Consortium that I know. Maybe it is with the AWO11. Well,
What year is it actually?
it is that year.
Oh.
That's why I said maybe
Mm.
it is AWO11, because he thought it was AWO2.
Oh.
Well.
Hmm.
If that's all you have, I have nothing more to say.
That's not all I have. I'm just getting started.
Well, I don't plan on talking to a ally of the Consortium, no matter what form they take.
It would be a shame for a Mahar human to be allied with the Consortium, don't you think?
I'm a Harvard human. He kind of thinks. Just like Ishin.
Hmm. What are your thoughts on the Shin?
Well, there was a time, from what I understand, he was one of the ones that fought against the Consortium. He fought to keep. He fought for peace for our people. He fought for dignity for our people. But now I hear he's working with this initiative. It was almost yesterday that he and Hawari walked the path of. He kind of says of salvation for us Memorens. But I hear that they're no longer together.
I mean, Hawaii has changed a lot since then. Are you familiar with Dan Breach?
That bastard. Yes, I'm aware. Any
You
Memorem
know Hawaii has
knows
come before.
Hawari. He would never. I have no reason to believe this.
How about if I showed you the proof?
He kind of pauses. Show me what you can, Maharib.
Can I like pull up on like a ship
Yeah, you get
device or
like a ship
like
device.
all of the information I have on Dan Breach?
He kind of looks over
Hawaii.
it. No, you can just kind of give it to him. He'll kind of pause looking at you as you hand it to him, and he'll look over it. He flips through it over a few minutes. Roll me a logic.
Okay.
As he kind of speaks. And how do I know that this hasn't been doctored in some way? It seems as you all have some fangled new toys that I have not seen before.
Honestly, you have seen these things before. Just having a lapse of memory.
He
Oh,
kind of
logic.
squints at you. What did you do to me?
It's what did that mech do to you?
He says mech. An armored... No. He kind of thinks. I don't. There was something.
That newfangled armored knight basically almost melted your brain. I rolled a 9 on logic.
Hey, can I ask Dragon above board if Imako with upon?
At this moment, um, if you'd
I
like
feel
to
like
go,
Imiko could join upon it.
yeah, you could go like ask like, hey, where's Apani? And you would hear like, oh, they went over to one of the main encampments to talk with, um, not Hawari, I'm sorry, with Isaiah. And you could
Yeah,
go there if
I
you'd like. Yeah.
I assume like Imako would probably be shadowing her steps, not realizing that Imako is just watching.
Yep. You could like pop in and just like listen in if you wanted to hop in and say something. You could. And kind of
I'm
looks at.
saying if he's, like laying Apani do stuff, and once she sees that Apani is like fumbling the ball still, she spend one tail to re-roll that shit.
Fair, fair. Would you get Apani?
A 9.
A
I
9?
appreciate that reroll.
Go ahead and roll.
Actually, can Apani try to charm him instead?
Yeah, depending on what you say. What would you like to say?
Apani would like to, and Apani doesn't need the. Apani wouldn't need the tail for this, right? To
Yeah.
charm, just try charm in different charm
Well, I
instead.
mean, if you want to re-roll, you would, but like, yeah, you'll need to say something.
I
Yeah.
think Apani's gonna say, "What use would I have to try to convince you that Darren Preach is a bad person? Like, if you really think about it, I shouldn't need to convince you on this. Nor should I convince you that Darren Preach would not be where he got to before he ended up being taken down if he didn't have connections. And how do you think the Retribution got access to so many things? In fact,
This
look at it.
retribution.
Look at Hawari. Do you actually trust Hawari?
They tell
Are you
me
sure he doesn't have any ulterior motives?
this retribution. They tell me I'm part of it, but I'm a Momoan freedom fighter. I don't.
The more freedom fighters are no more.
I don't recall this retribution. You said my memory is lapsed. That's what they said as well. These doctors or whatever they call themselves.
Your memory is lap. Your memory is lapsed because of the armored knight you got in from the Retribution.
Hmm. I remember getting torn out of something. And then I
I took you out
remembered
of it. You were
you.
trying to kill me.
Hmm. Well, considering where you're standing on the other side of this cell, I'm not quite surprised that I was, but still. Hmm.
I mean, just think
Why do
about
I.
it.
What was I doing in that machine?
I don't know. Only you and the Retribution would know that.
Yes, but I don't seem
I
to
just think
remember
about it.
them.
Do I really have a reason to lie to you? What would be there's if you think about it, there's really no reason for me to lie about this.
I
What
don't.
benefit would it serve me? In fact,
If it's true that I
I
have amnesia, maybe there's something you're trying to get from me so you can hurt me more and more. Maybe there's something that I was trying to forget.
I'm not trying to hurt Memorem. If anything, I just want you to know the full truth. Mm, we've all been lied to at different points.
The full
Is
truth.
anyone even is anyone even fully aware of all the connections that Darren has, who Darren worked with? If we really want to take down the consortium and take down all of these evil corruptions that are burning people down, we should be focusing on that.
The kind of thinks. You speak so openly about treason with your own group.
Is it really treason, though? Or am I just misunderstood?
I thought you said you were working with this Lapsus Sphere initiative thing, and they have the consortium among their members.
They do, but I'm not saying that we have to burn the consortium to a crisp. In fact, I think if we start burning people, I think they'll just come back and burn us. I'm talking about a more permanent solution than
A
that.
more permanent solution.
Yes. If you think about it, all these evil corporations, Darren Preach included, they rely on the people's trust a bit. If the people were aware of who Darren worked with, would they really want to support anyone who worked with Darren?
You have a lot of faith in the Consortium populace. Well, do you know that it was them who could champion the war against our people, the subjugation?
Not not just the consortium, everyone. Darren had connections everywhere. You think it was just the consortium?
I know it wasn't, but he was using the Consortium people, and they bought every lie that was told to them by their leadership, hook, line, and sinker. What do
Of
I have?
course.
What reason do I have to trust any non-Memorans?
Well, you see, is this not just the consortium's previous teachings to try to turn everyone against each other so that we can't support each other?
When the Consortium was going around pillaging and ravaging nations, everyone's once splintered, worried about their own selves. The suggestion you
Exactly.
have is that they could have done better if they had been standing together. Some of us championed that idea initially, but you know what happened? We were met with silence, insignificance, disregard. That was when I learned that Memorem, if we wanted to fix their situation, that we had to dig our own selves out from the pit.
Perhaps there might be another way for us all to help each other. Just look at just look at this alone. How many people do you think would be shocked and surprised by the list of people that have worked with Darren Preach?
I will not
Do you think that's
deny,
not going to make them turn their heads?
even if they note people are foolish and stupid, especially consortium member or Lapsians. They'll believe any lie as long as they can keep their prosperity. I know that firsthand.
True, but this isn't a lie.
The truth could smack them in the face, hit them dead between the eyes like a sniper bullet, and they would still not care. They'd die, oblivious to what just happened.
Here's the thing, it would not serve the consortium to say that all this is lies about Darren Preach when one, Darren Preach is already incarcerated,
He's.
and two,
He looks. I see that. But the guild, I guess they work fast or slow or.
hmm
Mm,
I don't just
fine.
sit on, I don't just sit at a desk in a cute little suit and
I can
sign off
tell that
papers.
you're battle hardened. Yes, I'm not a fool. I'm not foolish enough to think that you aren't.
Perhaps we can forge a new future, not just by sitting down and signing papers, but also not necessarily by burning everyone down to the ground who's not ourselves. Perhaps there's another option.
We'll see how well that other option lasts.
Fair. But do you think the other option is necessarily your enemy?
You gotta stop some things. Roll me that charm.
Okay. I rolled a 13. Can I use Emiko's tail that she
Yes,
offered earlier?
you can. You can.
Don't you waste it.
No, better not. Please be good. Please be good.
Nice.
I rolled a 18.
Yep. He kind of thinks. We shall see. I
We
hear
might
that
not
the.
necessarily agree, but we shouldn't be enemies.
It's kind of hard to say. You were beating me upon my head and shoulders the first time I woke up.
Eh, You were trying to kill me.
So it seems. Let's see. You asked something. You said you wanted to know. He kind of closes his eyes. A place. A dark place. Room. A smell of iron. Stains of red. People screaming. Dragged. Tables. Cutting. Tearing. Installing. He opens his eyes. That's what I remember.
Sounds like torture.
I don't know. But I have a feeling that whatever it was, or whatever I'm remembering, he kind of feels the back of his neck, might have to do with this.
It doesn't pleasant indeed in NLD.
Is that what they call this contraption in my spine?
Yes.
Not a very pleasant name.
Yeah. Retribution must have had it installed. I promise you, I would never install one. I'm kind of anti the extra technology inside of me. I wouldn't lie on that one. Not at all at this point. There's no reason to. It would just bring more fighting.
Well, regardless of that, I've told you what you want to know. Leave me be.
Fair. But I don't think you're wrong for wanting better for Memorem. I just have a different way about going about it. But you're not necessarily my enemy.
You sound like Ishin.
Is that such a bad thing?
That man was a fool. A very heartful fool.
Perhaps it is hopeful thinking, but
Both of them
it doesn't
were.
make me your enemy.
He kind of looks to the side. He just says, no, both of them were.
Hawari Anishi?
Yes. Hawari learned the hard way. When he lost his wife and son.
Sorry about that. You may perceive me as a fool. That's fine for now, but we don't need to be fighting each other. We want the same thing, we're just going about it in different methods.
The door opens behind, and you would see Brew would actually step in, and he says, "Hey, Pawnee, I don't mean to disrupt things, but..." He kind of sees Isaiah, and he kind of says, "Bastard. Oh. We're being called to the meeting. We need to hurry."
Okay, I'll head out. I think Apani would ask Isaiah if he wants anything to eat. Perhaps some good warm food? I can have that ordered for you.
He says, "Yeah, don't worry. They've been feeding me well. I don't really want for anything." Perhaps this isn't a consortium internment camp after all. After all, they are feeding me something and not gruel.
I have no intention in giving you slop and torturing you till you're drooling on yourself.
Evidently, they don't either. It does make me wonder more about this initiative.
If you want to know more, I can definitely get some information or even come back myself.
He doesn't really say anything. He just sits back. He goes back to his cot, basically, and lies down.
Okay.
Actually, you would notice when he does, he stands up with one leg and he drags his other leg with him. And one of his arms hasn't really moved the entire time, and it just kind of dangles next to him as he walks and like lays down.
Is his leg that he's paralyzed in and his arm that he's paralyzed in on the same side?
Yes.
Ooh, that's bad. That's real bad. Yeah,
And
party's not taking accountability. That'd be another day.
Brew kind of looks over as you guys like leave and are heading over to the meeting area. Brew kind of says, I would say it serves him right after everything he did. There were several people that lost their lives because of his action, not because of his attack and that thing. Though I won't deny, it is seeing the Isaiah touring tower for many years back in Memorem to now look like this. A shell of a man dragging half of himself with him. It's surreal, I guess.
I don't think it's too late for him to change.
He and people like him have a lot to do to make up for the mistakes. I would know myself.
It's fair. It's not impossible.
But the lives he's taken aren't coming back.
It is true.
He kind of thinks, maybe I'm being too judgmental or hard. Maybe because I'm thinking of myself. He kind of thinks.
No, you're not.
Either
You're
way,
fine.
it does seem that his memory isn't exactly all the way there. Jumbled, I believe, was the word that I heard described to me.
Yeah,
Yes.
it seems about right.
And as he says that, you guys enter the main kind of encampment area that's been kind of makeshiftedly built on the coast. Actually, it probably would be in it'd probably be in the guild ships. You're probably flown over to the guild ship, the big one, and land on that one and taken to one of the main rooms. There you would see the main leaders, Gregory, Koa Macy, of course, for the Consortium things. You would also see Ravis for the Noblessians, Alatka for the Auroch Vein, Auroch Vein, and then you'd see, of course, Lyshishka for the guild. And she kind of says, Now then, let the meeting begin. As Lyshishka nods and says, there is a few things to discuss, but we'll go through them quickly. Considering everyone has read the reports, I imagine, for what has happened. They all kind of nod. Ravis will pulls up something and says, yeah, I believe that my people were looking through this. So it is true that... Oh, also, I'm sorry, I forgot. Isheen would also be there with Rilka, his main guard, as you know. And Tahari would be beside them. This is, as I recall, it seems that the ringleader, it seems it is the ringleader by the name of, what was it, Isaiah? Isaiah Torringtar, yes. From the Torringtar estate. Apparently he's the main leader and, well, only current one. Is that going to be... He kind of looks over. Isheen says, it will not be a problem, I assure you. We can handle the situation of with our people and their leadership. Fine. We are already deciding a replacement for his estate. He says, oh, I see. Well, in that case, then the next question. His memory. It seems as though the guild has been reporting that he has some type of memory lapse. Lyshishka kind of nods. He kind of looks over at you. Well then, I don't know how much information we'll be able to get from him then. But if there's anything that can be helpful, we'd like to, as he says that, you can see somebody else enters behind you guys. And you can see Gregory kind of looks back and says, Miss Lashiska, I believe we talked about this. We don't need any of those pie, and you would hear it as Kata enters, she says, mind your tongue, dumbass. We're here to listen in just as everyone else is. We're a part of this too. Besides, if some of my people have been found, I want to know about it. He's like, that would be discussed, and Lashiska says, quiet. They have a right to know. They did help us in this last operation, after all. And Gregory kind of looks and he kind of like, ma'am, and he will sit down. Kata will sit on a beanbag, basically. With one of the Sea's Wrath people. Not Sea's Wrath, the Leviathan Stripe, sorry, people.
I think Apani would think about the fact that perhaps Isaiah's estate should be used towards like rebuilding more land.
Mm-hmm. Are
But
you
Apani's
saying
something
that?
with like,
I was like, are you?
nope.
I didn't know if you were saying that. So yeah, so she's internalizing that, but has not said it yet.
Yes.
By the way, Imako, you are present if you ever want to chime in.
Yeah, it's like sitting there, just like being quiet, just
Yeah.
very
Latricia, I didn't say Latricia. Your team is present, by the way, for this. So are a couple members of the other teams. I don't remember what that one guy's name, but the one guy you guys thought is an ass that was one of the consortium captains that was in the special group as well.
Ew, Chase's ass?
No, not Chase, not that dude. The guy that was a combatant. What was his name? I wrote it. I actually wrote it down. I'm gonna check real quick. You guys know who I'm talking about. His name is like. A moment. His name is. Fuck, what is this? I wrote it down. It was after Operation Sea Cleaning, I think. What was his name? I feel like I'm losing my mind. I wrote it down and I can't find it. Wait. Is it in here? Does anyone remember the operation or the thing I'm talking about when you guys saw the fight?
which
I
one?
don't remember its name.
The guy you saw the fight outside right after a big meeting before the Operation Reclaiming Icon happened. And there was a guy, there were two groups fighting, and there was a guy that you had already kind of encountered and thought he was an asshole. What was his name? I feel like I'm gonna lose my mind. Maybe I'll have to go pull it up. Remember to pull it up in post. It's fine. It's fine. It's not gonna bother me. It's not bothering me. It's bothering me. It's bothering me a lot. Maybe I should have put a note for it. I probably should have made a note for it. It's something that was actively important, and I didn't write it down, man. I hate when I do that. Okay. Wait. Members. You know what? Never mind. I'll look it up later. Yeah, I'll look it up later. It's fine. In general, where was I? Kind of lost track because I was looking to find it and I couldn't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, good.
So yeah, what was the thing? What was it? What was I just last saying? I apologize.
Okay.
Hmm?
What are you talking about? Repeat that again.
What was the last thing I was saying? I lost track of what I was saying because I couldn't find the thing I was looking for.
Something about like an operation.
Operation. I don't know.
Before you try for the name.
Before the name, I was talking about the Oh, yeah, Kada and them entering and saying they wanted to hear since they were assisting. They had assisted with the operation. Yeah, and then Lyshishka had basically said yes because they assisted. They deserved to be here as well. And then um, Gregory and the one guy that was going to see basically shut up. Yeah. So either way, as they continue, like what is it? Ishin will speak up and says, "The operation overall was a resounding success. As far as I'm concerned, it seems as though that Isaiah Torrington has been arrested. It seems as though Isaiah Torrington has been arrested. On top of that, and he's looking to the group as he says this. On top of that, it seems as though Icon Fall, or not Icon, Isle was reclaimed relatively safely. It seems as though our losses were not as grave as we were suspecting, due to mainly Misapani and Lyshishka and Lady Lyshishka's actions. Past that, Hannah says, the only other thing that I imagine that was of note was that I'm trying to think. Oh yes, the only other thing of note was that machine, of course. That's, he kind of said, and Gregory, Gregory will actually speak up as Macy. Macy says, yeah, some of my men actually were taken down by that thing. Luckily, we didn't have any casualties, but I gotta give our Embecasters some marks when it comes to evacuation as it pertains to our units. But that thing was no joke. And she kind of looks over, and Shadow Guardians took it out, seems. And she kind of just nods to y'all. I don't know if you guys say anything to that or just let it hang.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, repeat that. Sorry. I was looking.
Oh, Macy had said that they had just mentioned about the whole like you guys took out the monster armor, and that Macy had mentioned how it took out some of their people on the way, and she was saying that like yeah, but Shadow Guardians took it out and was giving you like a nod of recognition.
Yeah, even because just even because not gonna say anything, but she's got like smipe and just nod in her direction. Respect.
Mm. Gregory kind of looks over and he says, yes, about that unit. We want to know more about it. Apparently, its design and its mark or its unit number seem to suggest that Ardala Enterprises built it. Does that mean Memorem was holding out on us in terms of information that we asked for earlier? One of them, Relka actually speaks up and says, are you suggesting that we were lying to you about the potential threat the Retribution had, when we've been more than anything trying to get you to acknowledge how dangerous the Retribution is? He kind of says, he kind of smacks the table. He's like, this is not a joking matter. Many of our people died as that thing went on a rampage before that guild group took it out. You said, Kata kind of looks over and she's like, well, it sounds like you're upset that some of your people weren't making the cut. He says, as I recall, some of your people were taken out by it too as it went on its little soiree towards where Tahari was. He kind of says, and besides, that's not the point. If Ardala Enterprises has been building things like this, what other things could Mamoran... Lyshishka Hannah looks over and says, as far as we're concerned, Memorem has been honest with us in terms of what they have been told by Ardala Enterprises after the raid. If Ardala Enterprises kept information kept secret from them, then most likely it was done without their knowledge.
It's not Memorem's fault that Ottawa Enterprise is keeping secrets in mind.
I don't know if it was heard, but Pani said it's not Memorem's fault that Ardala Enterprises was keeping secrets.
In line.
Hmm?
And lie.
Hmm?
And lie.
Oh, and lie. There's a couple like looks across like from each other. Koa even kind of thinks, well, even if that's so, this is a complication. If these guys have more of these things, then we need to be prepared. And I don't think that a few armored knights are gonna do the trick, considering things, let alone certain soldiers.
So what do you
So what do you
suggest?
suggest?
Hmm. Not sure yet, but overwhelming firepower can take it out. Then we might need to focus on luring these things into traps more often. You fought it. What type of weaknesses can we expect from this thing?
The Pawnee would relay its weaknesses.
I don't know. It's the armor's weak to those type of things. Once it's pulled off, it should be a lot more easy to attack. Standard for most machines, but this one is fast. However, he kind of looks over. How was Shadow Guardians to be honest? I don't mean this in a rude way. Such meager numbers able to take this thing out like how they were. It just seems like a miracle.
We could handle it.
Yes, but Gregory kind of looks over. Yes, but I believe he's asking how exactly. Multiple squads were taken out by this thing as it just haphazardly moved across the air, or moved through the air and forest. But somehow your group was able to stave it off and defeat it. With minimal, well, he looks over Lashishka, not exactly minimal, but still, damages, but sufficient status.
We're not new soldiers born yesterday. We have a lot of experience behind our belts.
I feel as though there's a secret being kept from us.
And that is what?
Gregory kind of looks over. He looks at Macy a bit accusatory. Oh, one sec. We want to mute for a second. He looks at Macy a bit accusatorily, and then Macy just kind of turns away a bit. He kind of says, "We have reason to believe that the guild has armament similar to that was observed at the summon attack. A unit that I believe has been defined as a vanguard unit."
I don't remember it being a crime for the guilds to have armored knights as well. In fact, that'd probably be the best thing to combat against the retribution.
He kind of says, "No one's saying," or Koa actually speaks up. He's like, "I believe that Gregory is not trying to insinuate that it's a problem inherently the guild has advanced armored knight technology, but rather if they have some type of key to take down this lock, so to speak, or to open this lock, or they have a way to strike into this foe's weakness. Shouldn't it be something that we can all take advantage of?"
I think certain technology needs to be researched more before it's widely available. Though the guild has no issue using its strength to benefit the Lapsus as a whole and improve the safety for everyone.
Gregory kind of says, well, don't worry. If something like this pops up again, we'll just have to hope that you're all nearby so you can take it out for us. Then don't worry about the meat grinder that's left before that happens. I'm sure that all those people will be fine. And if not, I'm sure the families will be okay with hearing that as a response. Koa kind of looks over like, Gregory, that was out of line.
Why are you catching at it with me when I'm trying to save your life?
He kind of says, I just feel as if we are being led on by people that say that they mean our best interests, but they're not willing to give us the benefit of the doubt here. We put our lives on the lines as well. Our country was attacked, just like many of the other countries here. Yet we are being kept as if we are some type of monster in waiting, a feral animal about to attack And he kind of clenches his fist, looking over.
And no one perceives you to be a feral animal.
But you have to
But you have to
understand,
understand,
if we
if
just
we just
widely give
widely give
everyone the
everyone the
instruction
instruction
manual
manual
to
to
create
create
something
something
that
that
we
we
are
are
still
still
actively
actively
testing
testing
and
and
shit
shit
goes
goes
wrong,
wrong, it's
it's
on
on
our
our
heads,
heads. Is it not?
is it not?
Roll me a logic. I'm surprised Himiko's not saying anything to this. This is usually her wheelhouse of being.
I'm just taking it in. I'm just laying upon you doing her thing. Also,
Yippee.
I think that's your thing echoing.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix it retroactively. 19?
Yep.
Okay. He kind of thinks. Fine. He kind of says, I will. He says, I can accept that explanation for now. We'll just have to hope that our superiors back at the homeland can also accept it. And the losses. He kind of sits up. He's gonna say, I'm going for a walk. Koa kind of says, Gregory, your position, he says, my position isn't any different if I leave. Besides, it seems like you can do the meeting without my assistance or my presence. Besides, I'm sure you'll tell me if there's something important. I'm going to go see to the dead that we have left over, or that we have left over from the battle, and send their souls where the respective lords and ladies would like them. And he will.
Wait.
Wait,
He'll stop at the entrance, or I guess exit entrance.
I value your input.
I'm
I'm
not
not
trying
trying
to
to
exclude
exclude you here.
He sighs, but he will keep going. Macy kind of looks over and she says, I'm sorry about that, Miss Pawnee. Oh, you shouldn't say Miss Pawnee. Or, she would say, Captain Pawnee, considering the formalities. I'm sorry about that, Captain Pawnee. Gregory is an old soul from war. Dealing with soldiers lost, you might think it's easier for him, but it's not. In fact, it gets harder. I think to a certain extent he's blaming himself for losses in the last battle. Not to mention, I have a feeling that he probably feels as though, understandably, that the Consortium is not exactly trusted among this group. She holds up a hand, before anyone says anything, I know that that's not the impression that you want to give, but it is a feeling. And it's not one I can really deny, nor it's none that I can't understand either. Koa kind of sighs and just says,
I think trust is earned
more
more
on
on
an
an
individual
individual
basis
basis
and
and
less
less
of
of
a
a
countrywide
countrywide
basis.
basis.
I
I
think
think
the
the
more
more
we
we
work
work
with
with
each
each
other,
other,
the
the
more
more
we
we
learn
learn
about
about
each
each
other,
other,
and
and the more we understand each other.
Kata kind of looks over and she's like, she kind of says, she kind of says, I didn't realize that the consortium's feelings were so sensitive about these types of things. I didn't realize that they would care so much after pillaging so much land and territory in the last conflict. Koa kind of says, Miss Kata, that's out of line. She says, oh, really? If you are wondering why it's so hard for them to trust you, I wouldn't be surprised. She kind of looks over. You all know as well as I do how many lives and souls were lost in the Rising War, specifically because of specifically because of the Consortium's endeavors of expansion and imperialism. Some of us in this very room are victims of, she kind of looks a little bit at Apani and others, victims of that time.
Huh. That's funny. Are you also a victim of the Rising War? Or are you just talking out of your ass? He's just squinting her eyes.
My
See
sister.
myself.
She looks at you deadpan. My sister.
Oh, funny. Also my siblings too, and she's glaring back.
Let's not start fighting here. It's not gonna bring any good.
Also,
Also, as I said,
trust
trust
is
is
earned,
earned,
not
not
a
a
given.
given,
And
and
trust
trust
is
is
more
more
on
on
an
an
individual
individual
basis,
basis,
not
not
countrywide.
countrywide.
No
No
one
one
can
can
say
say that they
every
trust
single
every single
person in
person
one
in one country. Not a single
here.
person here.
Ravis kind of nods. I believe Captain Apani is correct. We need to focus on what is the real threat here, the retribution currently. We can take these squabbles are not something that we need to have at the moment. They should be kept in the past. That is what this initiative. That is what this initiative is for, is it not? You can see the others kind of look over.
Agreed.
Fortunately, it is.
Hmm.
We all have to work together despite our differences.
Ravis kind of looks over. On that note, then, noting if we do encounter one of these new machines, and the information that we've been able to be gleaned and been told now, what is our best strategy to deal with it?
Ice.
Ice. I can have some special elemental rounds be procured from the mainland. It will take some time for them to arrive, but you can hear Machine kind of says, you do not need to bother. There's a certain amount. We have certain amounts of them as well in store. We can offer you them to help with offer the initiative them to help with this type of endeavor.
Just give it as much as you can, you know?
He nods, of course. From a Memorem safety, it's better the situation is dealt with quickly. He kind of says, that leads us to the last bit of information then. Oh, sorry, the last two bits of information. Pertaining to what was found on the island, the incident, I should say, regarding those 3 squads that were seemingly slain by something. And then, of course, the other information about the prisoners. And Kaden looks over. She leans in a bit more when he says this. But he kind of says, firstly, though, we believe we have record of the dig sites that were around this area. We have record of the dig sites that seem to be around this area. As noted, Tahari mentioned. He looks over Tahari. You mentioned to us that Memorem was excavating for some type of technology here. What exactly were they? Tahari kind of speaks up. We were looking for technology that could help us in this event that we were in a battle with the Consortium once more. And it kind of looks around and he kind of says, this is not something that should be surprising to anyone here. And they kind of nod. That being said, what we found before the attack and during, it seems, was quite intriguing. They were digging for these units, or parts of these units, and it seems as they found enough to start restoring and fabricating a few. As far as I'm aware, they were able to create 4 of these units. One of them, I believe, was sent back to Gorgada. The other one, of course, kept on this island, and then the last 2 sent somewhere else, but there was one more thing they were looking for. A control device. He kind of says, a control device for what? Are you familiar with the tale of our people, or some of our people, as it pertains to our people's savior? He kind of looks over. I believe back in my scholarly days I read something about a deity of sorts, a protector. He kind of says, the one that pulls the seas and grinds our dirt into ample soil, the one who purges all infection from our lands and brings us into a new day. The Hashimal, or sometimes referred to as the Hashamat in our tongue. And it says, yes, but I don't see how this has to do with anything, he says. One moment.
They're after it.
Hmm?
They're after it. Apani just kind of like blurts out.
Tahari says, I think it's worse than that. I believe they already have it.
I don't know. Apani got
Hmm?
Can Apani roll an instinctual?
Yes. What are you rolling it for?
How Apani handles the thought of the fact that they might actually have it already, based off of Apani's experience with Hawari.
Fair.
Specifically, the one at the gallery.
Yeah.
Apani rolled a 21.
You're steel facing it. You're holding frame. You're like.
Yeah, Apani's being a true captain. Holding it together.
He kind of continues and says, or actually, what is it? Ishin would actually speak up and he says, Hawari mentioned wrong voice. He mentioned a machine during the gallery. He mentioned something. I believe Captain Apani also heard, as well as the rest of the team. We have record of it. Something known as M.A. Hashimat. He said it would be their answer. Tahari nods. That is the control units. Well, that was tied to the control unit they were searching for. I believe that that's what they found. And I believe they're trying to fix it to that machine. For some reason. I'm not sure. But what I gathered from my eyes will say around was whatever this M.A. Hashimat is, it's different than the other M.A. units that they had on the island, the one that your group fought. It seems as though it's something more. What, I cannot really say. But it's enough that they felt uncomfortable letting it out without this control unit. What's the destructive power? He kinda says, Sir Ravis, I'm not sure. Unfortunately, that's not data I have, and I'm not sure even Adala Enterprises has as well. At least not at this moment. Not to be, he says, also not surprising. We have no idea where the unit is or the control unit has been shipped. All the staff that was related to that is gone from the island, either having left or been slain. The only one that could have answered is Isaiah, and it seems as though after the damage done to his brain from being ejected from the focus system in the unit, with his NLD, it seems he's had a slight splicing of his memories. Kinda looks. Well then. We wait. That's all we can really do. And just deal with the retribution as we can. Which leads us to the guy says Kennedy says, alright, just get to the point. Yes, we heard about how there were 3 disappearing squads on the Isle. We can the guild's investigating, yada yada yada. Tell me about my people. He says, I understand your... She kind of looks over. Really? He sighs. Yes, Miss Kata, I can understand. Because Noblesians and other Lapsians from the Consortium and otherwise are potentially held there too. So, I will get to that. It's the next operation. Operation Jailbreak. He kind of notes.
Oh.
Lyshishka will speak up. The operation will be conducted very soon. You have about another 3 to 4 days to prepare. This is a special operation, as well as just like the previous. Another all-out type of attack, though with strategic points of entry. The main objective of this is to secure the command post, just like before with the other one, on a smaller island though, with separate teams attacking different points at once, converging on the same one. You'll need to pick respective teams for this operation, and they're going to need to decide which groups are doing what. On top of that, the operation's details of why we're conducting it. Operation Jailbreak, as the name would suggest, is about well, doing a jailbreak. We believe that the Retribution, not believe, we know for a fact that Retribution has several sites, black sites of some kind, where they are keeping individuals they've captured, and have for some reason funneled them all to. We don't know the full specifics other than some type of testing or experimentation. The full details are not exactly known, as I said, but we do have some beliefs about what types of things they're doing, Isaiah Torringtar being an example here. It seems as though, while fragmented his memory might be, he has some recollection of a similar place, or some type of place described, that other other Retribution members have also corroborated. Says, Kaida says, that's where they're keeping some of our people. We're gonna get you all out. She just kind of like puts a fist to her hand, kind of in emotion. She said,
So,
go
uh, Emiko's like, look at her, like, can she make a mood check on her?
Yep, go ahead.
Since she said his sister. Let me just check.
Mm-hmm. She said her sister was killed during the Rising War.
Just want to make a mood check.
Yep, go ahead and roll. Yeah, she is very determined and very what's the word I'm looking for? She is very she's very assured and focused on the task at hand when she says like we're gonna save all of you. She is determined. This was the thing she was waiting to hear about, and it is very clear that she is ready for whatever this entails. And as that happens, Lyshishka kind of looks over and says to Keda, says, Miss Keda, now note that this operation is a joint operation. You'll be conducting things with the other groups here. This is no time for haphazard heroics and going off on your own. Do you understand me? She goes, yes, I understand. We'll provide support as needed. Says, if you do, your people can be saved will be saved as well. She kind of says, all of you participated in the last few operations. As far as I'm concerned, regardless of you all being pirates and such before, you're in this with us, which means we help get your people out too. And Kata seems to kind of stop for a moment before she was going to say something and just kind of like affirmatively nod, like in agreement. Lyshishka kind of looks over and says, now then, past that. I was just reading something for a second. Yeah. Sorry, we're almost done. He says, past that. You'll need to decide which direction, as I said, you're going to go. Also, you should note, we believe that the Crimson Lotus might be located on this island.
Yeah, Emiko's like sitting at her feet now. When they mentioned like the Crimson Lotus.
To that extent, we'll be adding an additional member to this operation that will be helping with it. the one that has given us some of the information as regards to the Crimson Lotus, as well as information crucial to confirming this place. You all have heard of him. He has been in a careful kept stay since the summit attack. And as that happens, someone will enter. Someone you recognize, Emiko, as Titus.
Yeah, I just look over there, just like with shock. Then and then just like a little nod and just go back to where she's looking at.
Koa kind of looks over and says, "This guy, are you sure that you can?" She kind of says, "Yes, I am sure that he is fine for this operation. Even regardless of him being a former member of them. If anything, that's even more reason why he is the one to be here." Kind of says, she kind of says, "I don't really care for what reason he's here, as long as he's helping out and he's not hindering things." She kind of side eyes him. That says, "I know." She kind of says, he'll just say like, "I know what I'm. I know what I'm." Wait, his voice is, "Look, I know what I'm here for. All right." She kind of said, yeah, and she'll just say, you heard what Lyshishka says. No haphazard heroics, and no turncoating either. I've heard you have a problem with that." He kind of looks over and says, "I know what team I'm part of." She kind of says, "Usually that's followed by saying your own." She kind of just scoffs and doesn't look at her. She goes, she just kind of says, "I know who I can trust and who I can't."
Yeah, welcome back, Tiger.
Kind of nods. He says, "I'm not gonna ask for forgiveness. Partially because I'm not sure if I deserve it, but also because..."
Don't even ask for forgiveness, do you? Just like sit your ass down anyway.
You know, you're still just as loudmouth as ever, Fox. And he'll sit down.
Yeah, and you're still much of an asshole than I remember. You smart.
He kind of looks over, but he won't say anything else. Lyshishka says, "Now then, you'll all be handed out your paper. You'll all be handed out information in regards to the operation and who you're going to be stationed with. Then, from that point on, you need to decide which point of breaching you're going for. Once we've confirmed that, we'll begin the operation in a few days. In a few days." Everyone kind of nods. Says, "Is everyone clear with that?" And everyone kind of either gives a respective salute. Then the meeting is adjourned, and she will close her books on her desk, and everyone will begin to funnel out. And that is where we'll end the session. So we hope you enjoyed the session today. It was a nice little quick one, actually, not too long. Actually, under the 3-hour mark. But it has set us up for our next operation, Operation Jailbreak, where some fun and perhaps tragic things await our Shadow Guardian party. Titus has returned. Perhaps is it for selfish reasons, selfless reasons, or for something else entirely? How does Titus know this information? I'm sure it will be revealed soon. And what exactly will the party do when they come face to face with the Crimson Lotus once more? We'll find out in the next session. So don't forget to come by and see it. Thank you all for watching. If you'd like to try out Dreamforge yourself, you can go to some in the description box below, where our links for all of our socials, and of course where our Discord is, where you can find all the information on how to play Dreamforge yourself and possibly group together with people in our community. But besides that, I have been Dragon. Good night.